Right now at 6, Joplin City Council held a meeting to hear pleas to save Memorial Hall.
And we've got a few showers, even a couple of thunderstorms hanging on this morning. Those out of here soon. Will be warm, will be sunny, will be breezy. Details coming up in that forecast to get you out the door.
Plus, Joplin prepares to move forward with the demolition of a viaduct 5 years after it was closed due to safety concerns.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Tuesday, October the 22nd. And wherever you're joining us from, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to Tuesday.
It's going to be a good Tuesday. It's a good Monday.
Yeah, Monday wasn't too bad out there. It's going to be a little hotter today. It's going to be a little windier today, as if yesterday wasn't windy enough.
Right.
And some of us got at least a little bit of rain, and some of us still getting some of that rain right now. Well, if you're going to first start, though, the look outside from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are clear, and from what I've gathered looking at some of the radar loops overnight, because I slept through most of this, Pittsburgh, if you saw anything, it may have been a brief sprinkle. Unfortunately, you were dry throughout the night and are dry this morning as well. Joplin, on the other hand, you can still see some of the shiny spots on the road. We had a light shower early this morning. It is long gone, and that's really all that you guys got. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking pretty good so far this morning. Folks getting their day started. And the KDOT camera 69 East 520th Avenue. A little hard to tell, but that road there, 69, it is dry this morning as well. So here's the Skywatch Storm Tracker. This activity just an hour ago was back into northeastern Oklahoma, stretching up I-44 toward Joplin. It is moving quickly. It is also beginning to kind of dissipate out there, but still some heavier rain, maybe some rumbles of thunder north of Pineville, south of Neosho. Some heavier rain in eastern Newton County, so I'll roll into Monette. Mount Vernon, you're getting some showers. Cassville, you got some heavy rain on the way as well, depending on how much longer all of that holds together. So we got 3 rounds of rain last night. That's round 2, and this will be round 3, and it's going to start this loop again, and we'll show you round 1, which came through yesterday evening into southeast Kansas. Round 2 kind of followed that same path. Round 3 coming in out of Oklahoma, rolling into parts of southwest Missouri this morning. This is going to, again, exit very quickly, very likely before sunrise, and that'll leave us with clear skies. Temperatures today, we could tie or break record highs today, if that gives you an idea as to how hot it's going to be. And then on top of that, we're going to have to deal with those south winds gusting upwards of 30 to 40 miles an hour. So do be aware of that. And again, no outdoor burning. This is not enough rain to make a difference, okay? 64 in Joplin as well as Pittsburgh. Temperatures this morning, we've had some upper 50s out there, especially where we've seen some of that rainfall, the heavier rainfall. The rest of us, though, for the most part, low to mid 60s to start our Tuesday. Kids getting on the bus, clear skies, mid 60s, south winds gusting 20 to 30 miles an hour. And by this afternoon, still clear, hot, low 80s. Winds gusting again 30 to 40 miles an hour. Highs today, mid-upper 80s and out west. Some of you may even make the low 90s across the area. Now, as we head through the next few days, still some isolated shower and thunderstorm chances, which is good news. And then the fall-like temperatures will return as we head into next week. Details on all of that in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll check in with you soon, Chris. A weekend stabbing in Denawig leaves 1 man in the hospital and another in custody. As first responders were called to the 700 block of Patterson, where they found a 25-year-old man suffering stab wounds to his thigh and abdomen. The victim was rushed to a Joplin area hospital where he is expected to survive. The suspect fled a few blocks away, and he was taken into custody without incident and taken to the Jasper County Jail pending charges of assault. Well, traffic is flowing normally again on Interstate 44 at Joplin after a crash yesterday slowed movement to a crawl. Now, eastbound lanes on I-44 were blocked for hours when a tractor trailer overturned. The accident happened around 11:45 at the 11.8 mile marker. Joplin police, fire, and MET ambulance responded. Now, all eastbound I-44 traffic was forced to exit onto 249 southbound. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, it looks like Joplin is about ready to move forward with the demolition of a Joplin viaduct. The Pennsylvania Avenue viaduct was closed roughly 5 years ago after failing a safety inspection in 2019. In 2021, officials requested bids from engineering firms to help with the demolition and removal of the viaduct. But the Joplin Public Works Director says demolition has never been able to be done due to a lack of funds. But using money from the city's capital improvement fund, they hope to demolish the bridge to coincide with a MoDOT plan for a drainage system improvement on the 7th Street.
There really is not a reason to have the bridge there. So we're definitely removing the bridge. And then we plan to meet with stakeholders, property owners, and the public to have a few meetings to determine what our options are.
Now, because plans have not been approved or finalized, there isn't a projected date for demolition. The Public Works Director says they are working to get work done as soon as possible. The Joplin City Council last night here's pleas to save Memorial Hall. It seemed for some time that the days were numbered for Joplin's Memorial Hall. The Joplin City Council had voted in June to pursue steps to demolish the building, but at last night's meeting, the council heard from people arguing that the nearly 100-year-old structure is worth saving.
Memorial Hall has really served as the heartbeat of the community for nearly a century.
To support the restoration of Memorial Hall, we want the City Council to explore every possibility.
Memorial Hall was built in 1925 as a tribute to World War I veterans. Over the generations, it served as a venue for such diverse events as speaking tours, concerts, and circuses. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Judges reject the Republican National Committee lawsuits challenging some overseas ballots in Michigan and North Carolina. Plus, both presidential candidates are in key battleground states as polls show a very close race. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Tuesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look of the nation's largest town square in Iola, Kansas. Topping Nation Watch this morning. Well, check this out. Chick-fil-A is stepping into a new entertainment venture that will bring more than good food to families. The fast food chain is launching a new app called Chick-fil-A Play. The app was designed for parents and kids in mind to have the ultimate digital playground experience at their fingertips. Now, it features unique content to make the most of family moments together at home or in the drive-thru. Now, the app will include original animated shows, games, podcasts, kid-friendly crafts, and ebooks. The Chick-fil-A Play app will be available on November 18th. Well, some X-users are up in arms after the social media company changed its terms of service to let its AI train on everyone's post. Now on X, artists and others in creative roles are concerned about their work being used to train computers that could someday replace human creators entirely. Other users say they're concerned about personal information in their tweets being used that way. Now, the terms say any users who continue to use X on November 15th will be agreeing to the updated terms. It's unclear at this point if users can opt out of their posts being used to train AI. Well, judges in Michigan and North Carolina rejected lawsuits yesterday brought by the Republican National Committee and others. Now, the two separate lawsuits challenged overseas ballots cast by voters abroad who never resided in the states. Now, the North Carolina judge said Republicans presented no substantial evidence of the fraud they claimed they were trying to prevent. Now, the Michigan judge called the lawsuit an attempt to disenfranchise voters. Now, Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, who oversees the state's elections and was sued by the RNC, hailed the court ruling as a win for voters and democracy. Now, as of last night, there was no comment from the RNC or Democratic National Committee, which weighed in to defend the state's policies in both cases. Now, this morning, we are now exactly 2 weeks away from Election Day. Both candidates are hitting the pavement in key battleground states as polls show a very tight race in the final stretch. Vice President Kamala Harris enlisted the help of former GOP Congresswoman Liz Cheney as she made her appeal in 3 states Monday. Former President Donald Trump took his message to communities still recovering from Hurricane Helene in Purple, North Carolina. Jared Hill has more from New York.
You can vote your conscience and not ever have to say a word to anybody.
Former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney appealing to Republican women voters for Democratic presidential nominee Vice President Kamala Harris, taking the sobering message through battlegrounds Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan with the VP Monday.
The vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us.
The two were trying to sway voters who went for Nikki Haley in the primaries, some even after she left the race.
I do believe Donald Trump to be an unserious man, but the consequences of him ever being in the White House again are brutally serious.
If you wouldn't hire somebody to babysit your kids, you shouldn't make that guy the president of the United States.
And I'm proud. Trump in North Carolina leveled a new baseless attack against Harris, claiming she'd target religious groups if elected.
Christians will not be safe with Kamala Harris as President of the United States.
The former president also repeated false claims about FEMA disaster relief funds after visiting Asheville, a community devastated by Hurricane Helene.
They spent their money on illegal migrants. They spent their money. They didn't have any money left for North Carolina.
Today, Trump courts Latino voters in Florida before heading back to North Carolina for a rally. Harris is off the campaign trail, but her media blitz continues. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The two vice presidential candidates are also on the campaign trail today. Republican VP nominee J.D. Vance will also target Latino voters in Arizona. Democratic VP nominee Tim Walz will hit the campaign trail with former President Barack Obama in Wisconsin as early voting gets underway there. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, Skywatch Storm Tracker still showing us at least a couple isolated showers and thunderstorms into parts of southwest Missouri. That's the third round of rain we got from activity last night as it rolls on out of here. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Well, the Gymnastics Center in Arizona is offering gymnastic classes for adults. Danielle Miller takes us there to learn more about the new program.
If you've thought about going into your vault of skills from gymnastics class, now you can here at Arizona Sunrays Gymnastics.
It doesn't have to stop when you're 16, right? I think it's finally evolved to a place where they realize we can carry this further into our lives.
Here at the gym, they now have classes for every age and skill level. This new adult class allows those who used to do gymnastics competitively and those who are hitting the mat for the first time relive their youth.
Our adult athletes can be aiming toward anything. It could be just general overall wellness and health, or some of them do actually compete in an adult league. There is an adult gymnastics league, and it is national and international. So some of our athletes do have those ambitions, and some are just moving in this sport for the first time in their lives.
The athletes will do every event, bars, beam, vault, and floor. They can do as much or as little as they choose.
And they're coached all the way through on every event to their ability level, and then hoping to challenge them to continue to grow their skill set.
Many of the participants are former gymnasts and are now coaches. Some got started later in life and are just now competing.
Having me remember what that feeling was, doing my back handspring, doing my back flip, doing my front flip, why I loved the sport to begin with.
I impress myself every day with what I'm able to do. It's honestly shocking that I'm still able to do some of these things. Being an adult, it was just so I was able to gain confidence. I was able to meet other people that's never even done gymnastics and that are competing as well now.
Adult classes are offered on Wednesday and Saturday here at Sunrays Gymnastics. It's an hour-and-a-half class. It's $125 a month to come twice a week.
Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Now we're taking a look outside from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. Looking good. Pittsburgh is dry. The last of the showers on the way out. We'll have another look at that forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 621 coming up on 622 on this Tuesday morning. Skywatch Storm Tracker. Here's what's left of some shower and thunderstorm activities. We do have still some lightning. This is southeast of Neosho, just to the west of Corsicana. And then we've got some heavier rain stretching down toward Cassville right now. Some moderate showers around Monette and Mount Vernon. And this, unfortunately, is the last of the rain we are going to see for at least today. And the rain that we did see overnight and into this morning, there's some pockets here that got 1, maybe 2 inches of rain. But as you can see, the majority of our area got maybe up to an inch or less in terms of rainfall, and that's after 3 rounds of rain. There goes round 1 yesterday evening, round 2 around 11 o'clock last night, and round 3 flared up in Oklahoma and is what's now pushed into southwestern Missouri. So unfortunately, just not that much out there. Once this stuff clears out this morning, it's going to take the clouds, the rain, everything with it, and as we head through the morning into the afternoon, we're looking at clear skies, south-southwest winds gusting upwards of 30 to 40 miles an hour across the region. And our highs today, we could tie or break some record highs, especially the further west you are, because we could even see some low 90s out there. It is almost the end of October. It is uncalled for with these temperatures. Now, as we go into Wednesday, we have a cold front coming in. It's not going to do a lot to temperatures, but it'll bring some cloud cover through the middle of the day and perhaps an isolated shower or 2. And we'll also switch those winds out of the northeast on us. But again, it won't have a significant impact on our temperatures other than on Wednesday. It'll cool it back a little. By Thursday, could see an isolated shower or thunderstorm in the first half of the day. Then we'll spend most of the afternoon dry. Winds could be increasing. Temperatures absolutely increasing. And then Thursday night, another boundary comes through and will bring us some isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms late night Thursday into early Friday morning, and that sets the stage for a few other rounds of pop-up showers and storms. Sitting at 64 in Joplin, and skies, at least for now, are mostly cloudy, but they will clear out pretty quickly. South winds already gusting up to 32 miles an hour, and we're all pretty well warmer than where we were yesterday. Remember, we even had some low 40s out there. Nothing to be seen. The coolest we've got are into the upper 50s with 58 Grove and Jade. The rest of us, though, low to mid 60s. As we head into the morning, a low 60s to start. Clear skies, breezy, 74 by 11 o'clock this morning. That's ahead of highs today, again pushing mid upper 80s. Sunny skies, maybe even some low 90s out there with those gusty south winds. Heading into the evening, the good news is the winds will ease up on us out there. Skies remain clear, falling back into the upper 50s and low 60s. Isolated shower Wednesday, isolated shower storms on Thursday, and that trend continues through at least Sunday with temperatures remaining well above normal. And then by Wednesday of next week, we have another cold front coming in. This one could bring us a few more rain chances out there, but more importantly, I think it also will drop our temperatures to fall-like levels, so we fall back in low 70s and upper 60s. That's Check Your Forecast. We're going to toss it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, up to 80% of strokes are preventable with lifestyle changes. A new report from the American Heart Association looked at the most effective ways to prevent a first stroke. Well, good nutrition, staying active, and quitting smoking are at the top of the list. The report also recommends you get screened for stroke risk and take medications to manage your cardiovascular health if recommended by a doctor. Well, Black patients are 22% more likely to die after a coronary bypass surgery than other racial groups. That's according to a study by the American Society of Anesthesiologists, which found that on average, Black patients also stayed in the hospital longer after surgery and had higher hospital bills. Now, the study says governments and healthcare systems need to improve access to care and do more to address obesity, which disproportionately affects Black and Hispanic patients. And exercise can help women who experience brain fog after chemotherapy. A study published in the journal Cancer looked at the decreased ability to remember and concentrate that some women report after receiving chemotherapy. A woman who did regular aerobic exercise showed improved cognitive function. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, an outreach clinic in Galena hopes to help meet the community get the resources it needs.
And we've got ourselves a few remaining showers, couple of thunderstorms, those on the way out ahead of another hot day across the area. Look at that forecast, get you out the doors coming up.
Plus, what you need to know to stay safe when using space heaters this fall and winter.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. This Tuesday, October the 22nd. We are getting closer to Halloween, closer to Election Day. I know for kids, Halloween's the more important part of the whole thing.
Oh, sure.
But for us grown-ups, Election Day, it's a presidential election year. Every election is important, but of course this one's a big one, so make sure.
Lots of eyes on this one.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be interesting.
Absolutely.
I really don't have any political views one way or the other, to be honest with you. I mean, and I'm not just saying that because, here we are. Really, I don't. I vote for what I think is going to work out best, one side or the other. So it should be a very interesting one, though.
Absolutely.
Weather's somewhat interesting, too, this morning. We got some rain. That stuff falling from the sky. It's not an alien attack. It was rainfall, which we haven't seen in 27 days across this region. Let's start, though, with a look outside, like we traditionally do, from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Looks good so far this morning. Pittsburgh, unfortunately, dry. Joplin, you did get some light showers earlier this morning. Had some lightning, but that was really for storms off to the south of the city. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking good as well. What? I apologize. Oh, it's the traffic light. I haven't had enough coffee yet. I thought there was a car on the median. It's too early in the morning. KDOT camera, East 520th Avenue, looking good as well. So here's all that's left on the Skywatch Storm Tracker. These dark grays, these are old lightning strikes. We're not even picking up any recent lightning. Some heavier rain southeastern Newton County around Cassville, south of Monette. Light showers around the Mount Vernon area. And that's it. All of that was much bigger. We've had 3 rounds of showers and storms. We had 1 round yesterday evening across Kansas, a 2nd round that almost followed that same path, and then we've had this 3rd round, which it was at first got getting to the area, was a nice looking batch of showers and storms. Unfortunately, it is now fizzled down to just about nothing. It will be out of here in about 30 minutes or so, moving pretty quickly. We'll have those winds gusting today upwards of 30 to 40 miles an hour, and with the highs out there, we could tie or break some record highs, and we'll have sunny skies to boot with everything else. Right now, all of us warmer than where we were yesterday at this time, 64 in Joplin and Pittsburgh. And around the region, we've got some upper 50s, and these are some of the locations that were in the 40s yesterday. So again, we're about 15 degrees or so warmer than where we were 24 hours ago. Low mid 60s out there for the majority of us. Kids getting on the bus this morning. Should be clear skies, maybe a lingering cloud or two, winds gusting anywhere from 20 to 30 miles an hour. Low 60s, and then we'll be in the low 80s, low to mid 80s by the time that bus brings them home. Still clear, but now again the winds gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour. Clear skies, breezy, hot. Mid upper 80s, maybe even some low 90s in some cases. We're going to have some additional rain chances. It's also going to be hot for a little while longer, and we could see some fall-like weather next week. Details on all that here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, it may still feel nice here in the 4 states, but soon the weather will cool down here as well. If you're considering getting a space heater, the Carl Junction Fire Chief recommends you make sure it's a certified space heater and that it's plugged directly into the wall and not a power strip.
Space heaters being plugged into power strips, and what ends up happening actually is the power strip itself will catch on fire because it's too much current. And even by that point in time, once it shuts down, it's still live, and it creates a fire situation there.
Now, the fire chief also says to watch out for older model space heaters because many don't have the safety measures newer models have. Officials with the Missouri Department of Transportation say they're already preparing for winter weather. They're hoping to get their staff familiar with both the equipment and the routes they might have. Now, workers are starting to install plows and spreaders on their trucks. They're also going out and driving the routes to familiarize themselves and to look out for any obstacles before they have to worry about snow and ice.
So we want to start in early fall so that we've got plenty of time. If we identify any deficiencies in our equipment, we can get all that corrected and make sure that our equipment is 100% and ready to go for when the weather gets here.
Now, MoDOT officials say by checking their equipment in this way, they're able to have faster response times when winter weather does arrive. And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The KOAM Skywatch weather app. Well, applications are now open for Kansans hoping to have more access to high-speed internet. The Kansas Office of Broadband Development is developing more than $450 million to bring high-speed internet to all of Kansas. Now, the goal of the program is to support education, healthcare, and workforce growth. Eligible applications include local and tribal governments, nonprofit organizations, and others authorized to provide broadband services. Applications open today and close December 5th. Well, the Cherokee County Health Department hosted an outreach clinic yesterday in Galena. Workers were ready to help with programs such as lead testing and answering eligibility questions for Medicaid and WIC. Now, clinic staff say their goal is to meet with the community and help them in whatever way they can.
If they can't make it to the clinics, we try everything we can to get them on WIC. And if they can't necessarily participate in the program, we give them resources to help them either acquire food or formula for baby.
The Cherokee County Health Department has held similar clinics in Columbus and Baxter Springs. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Consumers are spending big bucks this spooky season, but they're also looking for better deals this year. And we have a warm and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look of the nation's largest town square in Iola, Kansas. In Consumer Watch this morning, well, the countdown to Halloween is now entering single digits, and the National Retail Federation estimates that Halloween shoppers will spend a combined $11.6 billion before October 31st. Emily Schmidt breaks down this spending and where you might find some last-minute savings.
This is the time of year where fall is big, like more than 2,500 pounds of pumpkin big. Yet this year, it's also big to downsize.
We see consumers willing to invest in these events, but also looking for ways to be smart with their budget.
The National Retail Federation's annual survey predicts that shoppers may spend around $104 per person, down $4.62 from 2023's record high. So overall spending might be lower, though still billions more than just a decade ago.
But is certainly one that captures consumers' attention and focus and generates a lot of excitement around this time of year.
Retailers say nearly 72% of Americans plan to celebrate Halloween, spending the most on candy. An estimated 67% hand that out. Decorations, a fast-growing category, and costumes.
$5. And on Amazon, the same ones that I was looking at are $13.
The National Retail Federation says 12% of shoppers, especially younger consumers, look for costumes at thrift or secondhand stores. Of course, even before the spookiest Halloween screams fade, winter holidays begin. The NRF predicts retail sales growing around 2.5% to 3.5%.
That could put total retail sales for the last 2 months of this year at a record $989 billion.
That's 85 times the amount predicted for Halloween, suggesting the year's retail treats are still ahead. For Consumer Watch, I'm Emily Schmidt.
The Biden administration is taking steps to make online reviews more reliable. A federal trade commission rule that bans fake online reviews and testimonials took effect this week. The new regulation allows the FTC to penalize companies that violate it. Now, reviews and testimonials from AI and people who don't exist, people who don't have any experience with the service or product, and those who misrepresent their experience are all prohibited. Well, membership dues for the Girl Scouts are about to go up for the first time in 8 years. The fees will stay the same next year at $25, but in 2026, members will be required to pay $45, and then it will jump to $65 in 2027. Now, the organization says the move will help it avoid having to reduce or cut some of its programs and services. And Starbucks is inviting Wicked fans to fly in for a taste of Oz with its wonderful new creations. Today, the coffee chain is launching 2 cold drinks, Elphaba's Cold Brew with green matcha foam and Glinda's Pink Potion, a coconut milk dragon fruit drink. Now, the company is also releasing a line of drink cups next month for fans of the Broadway musical turned movie who are ready to defy gravity. The collaboration comes a month before the film's theatrical release. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're going to start with the Skywatch Storm Tracker this morning. What's left of our showers and thunderstorms that was a pretty decent batch across parts of Oklahoma is now really confined to Berry and Lawrence counties. We've got some heavier showers just to the south of Monette and northeast of Cassville, so riding the I-44 corridor. Unfortunately, that's it. And as it moves out, we're going to clear out. We're going to be hot. We're going to be dry. We're going to be breezy. 3 different rounds of rain rolled through the area, and they didn't really bring all that much rain, but at least it was better than no rain. I know at this point, anything is better than nothing. Heading into the afternoon today, we're looking at temperatures that could tie or even break record highs as we go into the upper 80s, maybe even some low 90s in some cases. On top of that, despite the rain, still no outdoor burning. We've got south winds that'll be gusting anywhere from 30 to 40 miles an hour as we head through the afternoon hours. But thankfully, they will start to let up a little bit this evening. 64 in Joplin, sitting at 63 in Pittsburgh, and across the area, temperatures, again, all of us warmer than where we were. We've still got a couple of upper 50s here and there, but most of us low to mid 60s. And yesterday, we were about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than this at this same time. So we've already warmed up. Kids getting on the bus this morning, clear skies, low to mid 60s, south winds gusting 20 to 30, and again by this afternoon, those south winds will start gusting 30, possibly 40. When that bus brings them home, clear skies and low to mid 80s. We're having another look at your forecast, talk about some other rain chances and a cool down that's on the horizon here in just a moment. We're also going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries, but first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, we continue our 3 Meals series, and we're back on the road in Arizona this time, the only battleground state on the southern border. Ed O'Keefe talks with voters and migrants eating their first meal in America. Plus, best-selling author John Grisham will be here to talk about his latest book. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
Time for those Tuesday birthdays, and we are going to start with Brinkley Thornton in Thayer, celebrating birthday number 3.
And a happy birthday to Cage Robinson in Nevada, celebrating birthday number 6. It says here, happy birthday from Mom, Dad, and Timber.
And we've got Mike Robinson celebrating birthday number 39. This birthday was yesterday in Nevada.
And over in Columbus, a happy 6th birthday to Crew Epler.
And in Carthage, Brady Lansdowne celebrating birthday number 11.
And back over in Columbus, a happy birthday to Callie Evans, turning 14 today.
And we've got Jake Eddington, also in Columbus, celebrating birthday number 20.
And Jalen Reno in Webb City celebrating birthday number 20. It says here, love from your family.
And in Chanute, Amanda Webb celebrating birthday number 46. Happy birthday.
And staying in Chanute, a happy 52nd birthday to Fanny Stevenson.
And in Jasper, Mary Woodhouse celebrating birthday number 67 today.
And over in Chanute, happy 70th birthday to Dee Isle.
And we've got John Langford in Seneca celebrating birthday number 84. It says happy birthday from your family and friends. We love you.
And a happy 12th anniversary to Brandon and Shannon Lewis.
And we've got Dwayne and Cheryl Schneider celebrating their 51st wedding anniversary over in Asbury.
And continuing our birthday list with Lavina Rollmiller over in Miami. It says here, happy birthday from her kids, Ron, Reed, and Tracy.
And we've got Avery Rourke celebrating birthday number 32.
And happy birthday to Sheila West.
And last but certainly not least, in Pittsburgh, Janet Bacon celebrating another year wiser. Now see, this is a Tuesday, so I know we're not just catching up from the weekend or anything. That was a great birthday list. And if you would like to help us make another great birthday list, Elise has some details for you.
Please send your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those wonderful photos and messages, and to of course meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen.
And it is essential to meet that deadline for sure, so that your birthday or anniversary airs at the right time. All right, we've got some weather to talk about. Got a lot of changes on the way, a lot of just here, there, and everywhere, it seems, on the forecast. And we're going to start, though, first with the Skywatch Storm Tracker. Now, all we have left are these showers, these dying showers now, in parts of Berry and Lawrence County. So Monette getting in on some light rain. We've got some heavier rain along 39 southwest of Crane, just to the northeast of Cassville and north of Shell Knob. That's really about it. And this was a nice thunderstorm complex earlier this morning. Could have brought more rain. Unfortunately, it didn't. In fact, most of us getting about a half inch, well, not most of us, let me rephrase. Those who saw rain averaging about a half inch of rain. And that's it. We've got some areas that did get a little bit more, but not significantly so. So again, this is not going to make a big deal to the drought situation, but at least we did get some rain. In fact, we actually got 3 rounds. This was round 1 that moved through late yesterday evening, and then we had round 2 that almost followed that exact same path. So there goes round 1 again. Here comes round 2. Right through southeastern Kansas, and then round 3 developed on the tail of that and is what's pushing through right now as it continues to fizzle out. And that's the thing. Take a look, though. Once we get this loop past, there are no clouds, nothing else really back behind any of this. We're going to clear out pretty quickly out there, and it's going to warm up pretty quickly as well. We'll have south winds gusting anywhere from 30 to 40 miles an hour. So please keep that in mind if you're driving, especially if you're driving a high-profile vehicle or a vehicle that's susceptible to those gusty winds. With 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, that puts just about everybody under the gun there. On top of that, again, no outdoor burning. Just because it rained doesn't mean now it's suddenly safe to burn. It absolutely is not. We're going to need a lot more rain than that. Our highs today, we could tie or break records as we go into the upper 80s, maybe even some low 90s in our far western counties, which is just absolutely insane considering that in 2 weeks it's November. All right, not even full 2 weeks. We got into the start of November at the end of next week. Wednesday, we had a cold front coming through. Now, it's not going to have a major impact on our temperatures, unfortunately, but it will bring in northeasterly winds. It will bring us down just a little bit temperature-wise and have some cloud cover with that and maybe a stray shower or 2. I think the majority of us, though, on our Wednesday will be dry. And then as we head into Thursday, well, we have another boundary that will pass through, pushing to the northeast. It'll bring in hot air once again, so we're going to heat up Thursday, but we could see some isolated pop-up storms in the first half of our Thursday. So this is only 10 o'clock in the morning. Then it dries out and we start to actually clear out as we head into the afternoon. It won't be until later in the evening when we get another round of isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. So late Thursday into Friday, this is again going to be a situation not everybody will see rain, but at least some of us may see something out there. We're sitting at 64 in Joplin. Sky's beginning to clear. The wind's already out of the south, gusting upwards of 32 miles an hour, and we had 40s on this map yesterday. You will not find a single 40-degree reading this morning. Upper 50s, most of us low to mid 60s out there. So we're upwards of 15 degrees warmer now than we were at this same time 24 hours ago. Getting the morning started, low 60s, clear skies, breezy. And then we'll go into the mid-70s by 11 o'clock. We're going to look at your forecast and talk about a cold front next week that's actually going to make a difference for us here in just a moment, as well as the news you need to know. And then when we transition over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to see why a piece of artwork highlighting the effects of global warming has California residents talking.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A weekend stabbing in Denaweg leaves one man in the hospital and another in custody. First responders were called to the 700 block of Patterson, where they found a 25-year-old man suffering from stab wounds to his thigh and abdomen. The victim was rushed to a Joplin area hospital where he is expected to survive. Now, the suspect was taken into custody a few blocks away, and he is currently at the Jasper County Jail pending charges of assault. A tractor-trailer rollover crash brought traffic on I-44 to a crawl. Now, the accident happened near the 11.8-mile marker. Eastbound lanes on I-44 were blocked for hours. All eastbound I-44 traffic was forced to exit onto 249 southbound. And the Cherokee County Health Department hosted an outreach clinic in Galena. Workers were ready to help with programs such as lead testing and answering eligibility questions for Medicaid and WIC. Clinic staff say their goal is to meet with the community and help them in whatever way they can. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And we're looking at gusty winds. South breezes gusting 30, 40 miles an hour. Highs today, mid-upper 80s, maybe even some low 90s out there with clear skies. Winds will ease up this evening. Clear skies out there continue. Upper 50s, low 60s tonight. Maybe a stray shower or two with a cold front tomorrow. No big changes to our temperatures, though. Hot again Thursday, and that triggers a period of some isolated shower and thunderstorm chances through next Sunday. Again, not everybody will see rain, but at least it's some. And then look at Wednesday. Wednesday, we have a cold front coming in. It's looking to bring us maybe some rain chances, and it will also bring us fall-like temperatures back into the low 70s and upper 60s. So it's going to feel cold compared to where we are right now, but it's going to be seasonably cold.
Yeah, just in time for Halloween. That'll be great.
It certainly will.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making worth the wait cabbage soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
I was getting a little worried about Howard because yesterday was just a straight-up coconut cream pie.
Totally normal.
That worries me. He's got to have these creative.
Yeah,
we did. It's now worth the wait.
There you go.
Well, your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. LeBron James and his son Bronny could make history tonight if they take the court together when the NBA season tips off. Ahead on CBS Mornings, Nate Burleson takes a personal look at the meaning of a father playing with his son.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Jasmine Kyle from the SDK Humane Society joins us in the studio with a four-legged friend.
And Charlene Patton also in the studio with another incredibly healthy recipe. However, it's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.